welcome to highlights of the 1992 British Grand Prix, brought to you by Mircoprose and GP2Joey. Silverstone is the setting for the 9th round of the season, and with the thousands of fans expected to flood into the Northamptonshire circuit, all eyes will be predominantly on two men, defending champion Joey Davies and Nigel Mansell, who dominated last time out in France, claiming his 5th win of the year after a sublime performance from the pole position. With both Brits sitting at the top of the Drivers' Championship, it's Williams-Renault's Mansell, however, who holds a 23-point lead over his McLaren-Ilmor rival, with Michael Schumacher third. Whilst in the constructors' standings, it's Williams leading the way by 12 points over McLaren, with Benetton in third and Ferrari in fourth, 49 points off the top. The news before the race was all about Mansell's teammate Sean Alesi, who, after failing to impress at Williams, was finally told that his time was up and that he would be replaced with immediate effect by the team's British test driver Damon Hill, who would be moving across from the Jordan team. The opportunity was not lost on a delighted Hill, who thanked the team for giving him the chance to prove himself over the remaining races in 1992. It was then confirmed that Alesi had signed a 2-year deal with Alain-Prost's Ligier team, who were busy trying to grab a share of the exclusive Renault engine deal enjoyed by Williams, much to the annoyance of Mansell, who continues to try and block the move as he seeks a first championship title. Alesi was delighted at the lifeline given to him and openly criticised his former employer upon arrival at Silverstone. Elsewhere, having lost Hill to Williams, Eddie Jordan then confirmed that Carl Wendlinger would be seeing out the season for him, courtesy of his links with the team's engine partner Ilmor. After the French Grand Prix, Le Rousse were the unfortunate ones who were demoted and were now required to pre-qualify for the next 4 races, whilst Minardi were promoted, and when the action began at 8:30 on Friday morning, it was electric, with Andrea Moda impressing in the hands of Alex Caffey and Perry McCarthy. It wasn't long, however, before the Le Rousse of Eric Bernard went fastest, ahead of teammate Alessandro Zanardi, with the two of them split by the BMS Dallara of Christian Fittipaldi, who impressed once again as both teams made it through into the race weekend and were joined by the financially crippled Fondmetal team, who somehow managed to beat Andrea Moda by a heartbreaking 1/10 of a second to give them a glint of hope, whilst the others were forced to pack up their transporters early. As usual, the crowds at Silverstone were mega, and so was the qualifying action on Friday as Senna continued to show Ferrari were making progress with a decent performance. Down at McLaren, Schumacher impressed like he did a week ago in France, ending the session second fastest, whilst teammate Davies struggled with understeer on his way to only 9th quickest. But as expected, all the drivers were trounced by Mansell, who ran out the fastest, but by less of a gap than many had anticipated. Saturday saw improved performance from Davies, who ended the session 3rd fastest behind teammate Schumacher, whilst Senna improved to take 4th ahead of a revitalised Alesi, who claimed an impressive 5th on his Ligier debut, whilst the man who's replaced him at Williams, Damon Hill, struggled to a disappointing 10th after his fast laps were balked by slower drivers on Friday and transmission issues on Saturday. Once again, however, it was the Red 5 of Mansell who remained unbeaten from Friday, and the Englishman duly claimed his 9th consecutive pole of the year. Afterwards, the champion hopeful promised he would be gunning for a 6th win of the year for the British fans. Schumacher remained bullish about his chances of claiming a 2nd win of the year, whilst Davies promised fireworks come 2 p.m. on race day. Down at Ligier, there were smiles all round, and the delighted Prost claimed Williams were wrong to have let Alesi go, whilst the young Frenchman himself simply thanked his new employer for the chance they had given him and hoped to deliver a strong result on Sunday, whilst his replacement Damon Hill was frustrated after the car issues had left him languishing in a disappointing 10th. So it's Nigel Mansell and Michael Schumacher on the front row, with Joey Davies and Ayrton Senna on row 2. Row 3 is the 2 Ligiers of Sean Alesi and Alain Prost. Row 4 is the 2 Benettons of Martin Brundle and Johnny Herbert. Row 5 is Michael Andretti and Damon Hill. Then row 6 is Gerhard Berger and Riccardo Patrese in the 2 Joas Porsches, with the 2 Lotuses of Mika Häkkinen and Mark Blundell on row 7. Row 8 is Heinz-Harald Frentzen and Derek Warwick. Row 9 is JJ Leto and Carl Wendlinger. Row 10 is Eric Bernard and Satoru Nakajima. Row 11 is the 2 Minardis of Pierluigi Martini and Gianni Morbidelli. Row 12 is Christian Fittipaldi and Olivier Griard. And at the back it's Alessandro Zanardi and Stefano Modena. The red lights come on and the engine revs rise as the 1992 British Grand Prix is go! What a fantastic getaway from Senna's Ferrari. He's fantastic. He's up into second place. It's Mansell in the lead. Senna's second. It's Schumacher's got ahead of Davies as they thunder into Copse for the first time. It's Mansell ahead of Senna. Schumacher third. Davies has dropped to fourth. It's Alesi in fifth. Brundle sixth. It's Prost in seventh. Damon Hill has made a fantastic start and he's up into eighth place from 10th on the grid as they come through the sweeps of Beckett. Through the left-hander they come and onto Hanger Straight for the first time. Hill's in 8th position, it's Andretti 9th, Häkkinen's in 10th. Fantastic start from the Lotus driver. But down Hanger Straight towards Stowe for the first time, it's still Mansell. But Senna's closing. Through the Vale section they come, Mansell. He's the hot favourite for today's race ahead of Senna with Schumacher still in 3rd place. Davies is trying to catch up to the German. He's less than half a second behind him as Mansell thunders out of Club Corner, rides the curve beautifully. Full throttle now on the run down towards Abbey Turn, but Davies is right behind Schumacher. Let's have a look. Davies, he pulls out alongside him and they're side by side. Davies, they almost touch on the run down towards Bridge Corner. It's Davies takes 3rd position. So it's Davies ahead of Schumacher now. Schumacher drops to 4th with Alesi right behind him in the Ligier. Alesi in his first race for Alain Prost's team. With Brundle up into 6th position, it's still Prost down in 7th. But what an opening lap this has been from Nigel Mansell. Through the lap field he comes into Woodcote for the first time. And it's still Mansell ahead of Senna. What's the distance? It's 1.1 seconds. What an opening lap that is from Mansell. But Davies is 9/10 further back from Senna. With Schumacher still 4th, but he's nearly 4 seconds away from Mansell. And let's see the start from Davies.
Initially, very poor start yet again. He seems to be struggling a lot this year with the getaways there, but Senna's already leapfrogged the 2 McLarens. Mansell's well up the road, and Davies just taking it very cautiously through Copse there for the first time to let Schumacher go ahead of him. Fully confident that he's going to make the charge, with Alesi looking to get through on the inside there, but Davies just brilliantly covers the inside line.
But this is Davies now. This is the 3rd lap and he's just gone underneath Senna and he's through and he's into the lead.
I think you'll find he's in 2nd place. That's Nigel Mansell still the race leader.
But Davies is into 2nd now. Through the sweeps of Beckett's now. He runs a little bit wide there on the exit of the first part. But he's going to desperately try and close up to Nigel Mansell. But there's action right the way through the field as we look at Zanardi. And that's one of the BMS Talaras. That's Christian Fittipaldi. That's over 21st position. But Mansell's still in the lead and he's got Davies now swarming about all over the back of the gearbox. And the McLaren is looking very feisty. He's struggled in Friday practice and he's struggled in Saturday. But he certainly looks as though he's got his car hooked up with Carl Wendlinger into the pits. And Davies pulls out from behind the Williams and he goes through. He's through, so Davies takes the lead. Fantastic. The last few years these two have enjoyed tremendous battles here at Silverstone, with each of them trying to claim it as their own. Davies has won twice, Mansell's won twice, but is anybody going to take the 3rd win as Hill sweeps past Brundle? So Brundle drops to 8th and it's Damon Hill now down up into 7th place.
Fantastic start as Alain Prost, he's got flames billowing out of the back of the Ligier.
Prost is out! He's out! From 8th position, so he was destined not to finish this race. And now there's only one Ligier left in the race, and that belongs to Jean Alesi. But back up front, Davies has lost the lead to Mansell. And once again, Davies is looking to try and see if he can find a gap. But Mansell just covers the inside line. This is lap 10, and this is scintillating stuff. There's nothing doing there, he can't get through into Priory. It's still Davies trying to chase Mansell down. But that's a Benetton smoking. That's Brundle. Brundle pulls over. And he's hit one of the Jones Porsches. I think that was Patrese.
That was Berger.
That Berger's been hit. So he's off. But back up front, look at this. It's Davies and Mansell now. They're neck and neck behind one of the back markers. That's a Tyrrell. Davies looks to go on the inside. He can't do anything there. Around the outside at Stowe Corner. Is he going to try and stick it around the outside? Mansell's pinned in. And Davies has gone through. Davies has taken the lead. What an amazing pass. He's taken the lead. He sweeps round the outside. That's Carl Wendlinger. So Davies takes the lead with an absolutely audacious pass on Nigel Mansell. Fantastic stuff as we ride on board with Senna. Senna in third position now. He's 9.1 seconds behind him.
Well, let's not forget as Mansell looks to make the move on the inside.
And he goes through. So Mansell goes through. So Mansell retakes the lead from Davies. This is fantastic stuff. With Senna now, the gap is only 7.1 seconds. And of course, the longer that these two battle with each other, the more that Senna and Schumacher are going to close up. As we look at Patrese going through Bridge Corner. Patrese down in ninth position. He's behind his teammate Gerhard Berger, I think. But Davies is defending again on Mansell. He runs wide. Mansell's going to try and slip it up the inside. Can he get through? He can't. Davies just about manages to hold on to the lead.
But will Mansell pounce now into the club corner? As we ride on board with Michael Schumacher. Schumacher catching Senna and Senna catching the two race leaders. This is absolutely scintillating stuff. There's only 0.2 of a second in it as they come through Woodcote now. And this is the 16th lap.
And is Mansell going to try something immerse to the inside? Mansell's going to try and go through on the inside. Is Davies going to be able to do anything about it? He can't. Mansell retakes the lead. Fantastic stuff. What racing for the 130 race day, 130,000 race day fans as Andretti loses it at Priory. Andretti loses the back end of the Ferrari.
A very rare mistake there from Michael Andretti. I'm a bit surprised that he's done that because he's driven very well all season.
But that's one of the Joeys trying to get through. That's Berger, and they touch. So Berger and Andretti make contact. But look at this back up front. It's still Mansell, and it's still Davies on lap 19. Mansell defends the inside. Davies is desperately trying to get through. He can't find a way through, and they are absolutely neck and neck. It's mono-e-mono. One of them wants to win this race more than the other. But do they? Because they are both going absolutely flat chat. They're both absolutely desperate to win this race. And Davies is swarming about all over the back of the Williams. As Mansell comes through Abbey, it's 190 miles an hour. Davies pulls to the left and they touch. And then Mansell's out. He's lost his front nose. He's lost his right front wheel. And he's off. And Davies is over the grass. He's on the curbs. And Senna's gone through. My goodness me, Mansell is out of the race. They've had another coming together, but Senna's in the lead with Davies in second place and Schumacher in third. It's Alesi in fourth, but let's have a look at the replay.
I've got to say, I think that's Nigel Mansell's error there because Davies was well up alongside him there, but I'm not sure if Mansell actually saw him. So let's have a look from Mansell's on board, and you can just see that I don't think he actually knew that Davies was there.
But whatever happens, it's been a racing incident, but Senna's into the pits as one of the footworks pulls over. And my goodness me, once again, that's JJ Leto, destined not to finish yet another Grand Prix. And Davies is into the pits, the race leader, onto the marks. Fantastic wipe of the visor from the chief mechanic. Yet again, the talent in that man is absolutely unbelievable. It's 9.6 seconds. Davies has made the first of his two stops. But there's Christian Fittipaldi battling once again one of the Minardis. That's Pierluigi Martini. And this is over 17th place. As he's through as Alessandro Zanardi comes into the pit. Another fantastic drive from Christian Fittipaldi with Senna. Senna's now coming under attack from Davies as Berger locks up. He runs wide into left field, but is Davies going to be able to find a way past Senna with Schumacher, the race leader, and Damon Hill is yet to stop, but he's up into second place. Fantastic stuff.
And that's Michael Schumacher into the pit. So Davies' stop was 9.6 seconds, and it's slightly slower, and he gets delayed as that's Damon Hill into the pit as well. So Schumacher loses the position to Damon Hill, but still Ayrton Senna is ahead of Joey Davies as they come up to Carl Wendlinger once more. And that's the McLaren of Schumacher looking to exit the pit lane there.
And Davies pulls to the inside of the Jordan and he goes through. He doesn't want to waste any time behind there, and Carl Wendlinger almost lost the back end of the car. But Damon Hill's now dropped back behind Schumacher as Andretti comes into the pit. But still, Ayrton Senna performing absolute miracles in that Ferrari. He's leading the race as Hill tries to get past Jean Alesi. Look at this battle. Alesi was in the Williams last time when we were in France, and Damon Hill was in the Jordan, but now Alesi's in the Ligier, and Damon Hill is with him, but back up Van Davies and Senna. They're trying to negotiate their way around one of the Jordans, and they both go through around the outside. Fantastic stuff. They are great mates, Senna and Davies, with Schumacher lurking in third place. He's only 2.3 seconds further back. But what racing we got! First it was Mansell and Davies, and now it's Senna and Davies, as Heinz-Harald Frenzen's trying to get past Eric Warwick for 10th place. But further back it's Hill and Alesi. They're still only separated by 1.5 seconds, with Alesi in 5th place, and that's Martini spinning.
Yes, Pierluigi Martini, they're losing the back end of the Minardi as one of the Ferraris goes through. I think that was Michael Andretti. But back up front, it's still Senna with Davies now. Davies looking to see if he can make the move on the run down towards the Vale. There's nothing doing there as Damon Hill almost locks up as well. So Damon Hill, he's performing very well today. He's very much struggled over the first 2 days of qualifying. He had some transmissions issues yesterday and and that's Herbert's gone off. Herbert, I'm not sure where he's gone off there. I think that's on the exit of Stowe. But Herbert's lost and he's dropped the position. So Herbert's down to 8th place with Patrese in 9th and Heinz-Harald Frentzen in 10th place. But what a drive from Damon Hill and Sean Alesi. But Senna's in for his second stop. Senna's into the pits, but Alesi's coming through Woodcote with Joey Davies in the lead now. And he's got Michael Schumacher. Schumacher's 1.9 seconds as Hill comes into the pits, with Alesi up into 3rd place. So Alesi goes through Copse. And he's up into 3rd position, but Davies is on the hanger straight now as he laps one of the Minardis with Alesi into the pits. And Johnny Herbert's up into 6th place with Patrese in 7th. And Michael Andretti's had a very good recovery now. He's up into 8th position as we see Heinz-Harald Frentzen locking up in 12th place. And Mark Blundell's up into 10th place as Davies is into the pits. So Joey Davies comes into the pits for the second and final time. But is he going to be able to keep the lead? It's going to be fantastic to see because there's Michael Schumacher now. He's the race leader. But that's Patrese pulling off. Yet again, another Joas Porsche retires. And that's Patrese pulling out. He's at Luffield and he's out of the race. Yes, I'm not surprised there. But look at this. This is Senna. So Senna and Davies now. Davies goes to the inside on the approach down to Copse Corner. And Senna's not going to be able to do anything about that there. Fantastic passing from Davies there. And that's Joey Davies is the race leader. So Davies has taken the lead. What's happened to Schumacher? I think he must have made his pit stop because Schumacher's now chasing down Damon Hill because Damon Hill is up into 3rd place. Is he going to be able to keep it? Let's not forget he started in 10th position and already Damon Hill is up into 3rd place in the Williams-Renault FW14B with Davies ahead of Senna. And Senna's now 1.9 seconds further back with Hill, with Schumacher right behind him. And let's have a look at the Williams. Is he going to be able to keep the German behind him? Well, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it because that McLaren is tremendously fast, but so also is the Williams. So this is going to be absolutely enthralling as they come out of Luffield and they head down towards the Woodcote. Are we going to see plenty of action of these two in the future? Because Schumacher pulls to the inside on the run down towards Copse and he goes through. So Schumacher's up into 3rd place. And that's absolute heartbreak for Damon Hill because he's lost 3rd place to Michael Schumacher as Mark Blundell pulls over in the Lotus as Hacken and his teammate goes through. But Mark Blundell is out of the race with Joey Davies in the lead. He's 10 seconds to the good over Ayrton Senna and he's just pulled away as Joey Davies comes through Bridge Corner for the final time. This is lap 59. He's in the lead by over 10.5 seconds as he comes through towards Luffield. He's into Luffield 1. He's coming up to Luffield 2. It's just one more right-hander. He powers on the throttle over the curbs into Woodcote for the final time. And Joey Davies wins the British Grand Prix as he takes to the grass and the crowds go absolutely crazy. Davies does the Davies dance across the line and he is the race winner. And where is Ayrton Senna in 2nd place? As Senna comes across the line and he takes a fine 2nd place and Schumacher's out of the final corner. He's into Woodcote for the last time. It's Schumacher taking 3rd ahead of Alesi in 4th with Andretti 5th. And there's Sean Alesi after a fine drive in the Ligier. Davies is doing the Davies donuts into Stowe Corner. Fantastic performance from the Englishman. So it's a 2nd win of the year for Davies, albeit under controversial circumstances, following his clash with Mansell after an enthralling battle in the early stages of the race, with Senna taking a fine 2nd for Ferrari and Schumacher getting on the podium for the 5th time this year in 3rd.
Perhaps it was Alesi who shone brightest in his first race for Ligier after being shown the door at Williams with a fantastic drive ahead of Andretti and Hill, who claimed the final point in 6 after a tough debut in Alesi's old seat at Williams. On the podium, Davies thanked the fans and dismissed suggestions the clash with Mansell had been anything other than a racing incident, which the FIA upheld. Senna proclaimed his satisfaction at another decent haul of points, and Schumacher bemoaned about an ailing gearbox towards the end of his race. Elsewhere, a furious Mansell blamed Davies for their clash, then slammed the FIA for electing to absolve the defending champ of any wrongdoing. A tearful Alesi thanked new boss Alain Prost, the Ligier team and Renault for their trust, and Hill promised to deliver next time out for a frustrated Williams team. Mansell still leads the Drivers' Championship, but has seen his lead cut by 10 points to only 13 over Davies now, while Schumacher and Senna stay rooted in 3rd and 4th respectively. After their haul of 14 points, McLaren have now jumped Williams and gone back to the top of the constructors' standings by only a single point, with Benetton struggling once again with their cars in 3rd, whilst Ferrari closed the gap at only 3 points in 4th. Next up is the Forest Line super-fast Hockenheim circuit, where horsepower is king, and there are quiet whispers that Ferrari might just be in with a shout of victory. Will Davies be able to conjure some magic, or will teammate Schumacher possibly grab a home win, or will Mansell claim his 6th win of the season? Whatever happens, it's sure to be one hell of a race, but for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for round 10 of the 1992 Formula 1 World Championship and the German Grand Prix.